Mad Woman is the 12th track on Taylor Swift's 8th studio album, Folklore. Wikipedia describes the song as a ballad that confronts gaslighting and the sexist taboo regarding women's anger. Essentially, Mad Woman is about the whole drama with Scooter Braun, so there's no way that I can start analyzing the lyric without making sure that you guys have a little background. I assume that you would, but just in case, I'm gonna do like a super quick, 60-second recap on the whole situation with Scooter Braun. If you know it, just skip ahead. I'll put like a timestamp somewhere here, but just making sure that in case someone who doesn't know the drama for some reason is interested in this video, I feel like I need to talk about it. So in 2005, Taylor Swift signed with Big Machine Records. Then her contract expired in 2018, and when her deal was up, she decided to go with a different record label. So obviously things were not working out with her at that record label, or she wasn't happy with the terms she had there. However, Big Machine owns her masters, so the original recordings of her first 6 studio albums. Then Big Machine was sold to a private equity holding, Ithaca Holdings, I don't know how to pronounce it, but essentially the owner of this entity is Scooter Braun, who represents artists like Kanye West and Justin Bieber. After this, Taylor went on Tumblr to share about her experience, how she found out with the world, and that she was sad and grossed out and just devastated, that she was really begging and pleading them to get the opportunity to buy her old records back or to buy her masters back, but she wasn't given the chance. They had offered her to get one back every time she turned in a new album, but with that system, she was never gonna own her whole catalog, so it wouldn't have made sense for her anyway, which I assume again is why she's changed record labels. So essentially this created a lot of bad blood between her and Scooter Braun. No pun intended, but also kind of pun intended. And so this ultimately resulted in her re-recording her studio albums so that she could own those masters back. Now I know there's a lot more to this drama than what I just shared, but as I said, I wanted to keep it short. Just make sure you have the general outline of it so that we can do the song analysis. And it starts off being quite a confrontational song. What did you think I'd say to that? So she is right off the bat acting like she's stepping up for herself. She compares herself to a scorpion, saying, "Does a scorpion sting when fighting back?" And then she says no, that's not what he does. They strike to kill and you know I will. She's saying if you come after her, you can expect her to go all in back at you. That there's no one better at revenge than her. This is also a lyrical parallel to a line in the song This Is Me Trying, where she says, "And my words shoot to kill when I'm mad. I have a lot of regrets about that." But of course in the song she's more apologetic. The tone is completely different. Moving on, the first line in the next section is actually about her stolen songs. When she says, "What do you sing on your drive home?" she's making a reference to her music, similarly to what she did in My Tears Ricochet, when she says, "When you can't sleep at night, you hear my stolen lullabies." In the second line, she asks him if he sees her face everywhere, which is a common thing that happens when you wrong someone or someone's haunting you. You see them in places where they are not. So she's implying that he must feel guilt for what he's done to her. Now, for the next part, I didn't notice until I started doing the song analysis that there are quotation marks between "fuck you forever." So when I was listening to the song before, I really was what is this trying to say? But now seeing that there's quotation marks, I'm oh, I really misunderstood what that meant. I wonder if there was supposed to be a double meaning there, but I don't think so, because of course, given the context of the song and what she's trying to say, she's kind of asking him about how guilty he feels. Does he feel guilty in the sense that he just sees her around, or is he feeling really guilty that he sees her and she's even being aggressive towards him? Then I really love this next part, because even though it's actually about gaslighting, it's kind of relatable, because she says, "Every time you call me crazy, I get more crazy." And I feel like we've all lived that moment where we're angry or feeling mad, and then someone makes a comment "Oh, why are you so angry?" or "Stop being crazy" or something, and that just makes it worse. But of course in this song she's actually making a reference to being gaslighted. But it's of course just a natural thing that if you're not feeling well and someone keeps poking at you, you're gonna feel worse and worse. Which is where we get to the next part, where she says no one likes a mad woman, and she starts talking about double standards that we face in society, which is something that she has spoken about before. Women are considered to be crazy and neurotic and just always overreacting, saying that a man is allowed to react, but a woman can only ever overreact. So we move on to talk about how she was kind of bullied, or how she was kind of forced into her reactions. You'll poke that bear till her claws come out. And this is kind of similar to something she wrote for Elle magazine in 2018, where they asked her to write an article on 30 things she learned before turning 30. One of them was grow a backbone, trust your gut, and know when to strike back. Be like a snake, only bite if someone steps on you. So here she's saying after enough poking at you, you're eventually gonna come back at them. And that's when you're gonna strike. And then she says you'll find something to wrap your noose around. The way that I understand that is that you you poke so much at someone to cause a reaction, and then once they react, you use that as your leverage to hold it against them. So this is again where these double standards come in, where gaslighting comes in, and that's why she's again emphasizing no one likes a mad woman. So they kind of push these reactions out of you, but then they blame you for having these reactions and try to make you feel guilty for feeling the way that you do. We move on to talk about how Taylor was dealing with this entire drama, and she says, now I breathe flames each time I talk. That means that every time that she's talking, there's just like negative things or like attacks coming out. She follows with my cannons fire at your yacht. So essentially she's saying whenever she speaks, she's bad mouthing him, and people are just telling her, girl, move on, and she's like, I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna stand up for myself and I'm gonna set this right. Among all the Scooter Braun drama, his then wife, spoiler alert, got involved, tweeting some things about Taylor Swift and saying how she was just throwing a tantrum because she didn't get her way. Demi Lovato also chimed in saying that he was a good man. So in this line where she says women like hunting witches too, it could be a reference to Scooter Braun and his wife and how her helping him among the feud probably brought them closer together. So then we get some segments that repeat, and then we arrive at the bridge where she says she's taking her time, meaning that maybe she's plotting or she's got a bigger scheme behind the scenes of what she's gonna do, and she's just been watching him climb over people like her, so he takes advantage of everybody. His behavior keeps persisting, so she's gonna take her time with her actions and figure out what she wants to do about the situation. Now we get to like a big plot part. I don't want to say it's like a plot twist, but more like an unravel of the situation, where she says the master of spin has a couple side flings. Now the word spin here has two meanings. So we have spin from spinning lies, but we also have spin from spinning records, or spinning the stolen records. And of course, she's implying that this person is cheating on his wife. And since we're speculating that this is about Scooter Braun, now she says good wives always know. She should have been mad, she should have been scathing like me, but no one likes a mad woman. So she's implying that either his wife wasn't good, or she was a good wife who knew, but instead of being angered by the situation, she couldn't react over it because nobody likes a mad woman, because if she was going to confront him or cause a scene about the cheating, it would have been reflected badly on her. So Scooter Braun's then wife, Yael, I don't know how to pronounce her name, sorry, as I said, are actually now divorced as of 2021. So I don't know if like Taylor knew something that we didn't know when this album came out, because obviously this was before that. And of course, we don't know what the reason for the divorce was. We don't know if it was from cheating or for something else. So overall, Mad Woman is about her feud with Scooter Braun, but also really looking at the tabooist sexism behind women not being able to be angry and women only ever overreacting. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I missed anything else that's interesting in the song lyrics, please let me know below because I love talking about that stuff, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!